My name is Ben Gold. I graduated from Cal State Fullerton with an undergraduate degree in marketing in 2004.
My name is Alex Lopez. I graduated in 2004. I was business marketing major.
My name is Tina Safi. I graduated from the College of Business, Cal State Fullerton, in 2011.
When you're in college, you're in a constant state of change. So you move a lot, you change classes every 6 months or however long the semester is, changing teachers, changing friends, all that type of stuff. When you get to the real world, you don't change that often. You might have to stick in one particular position for a long period of time, call it 2, 3, 4, 5 years, doing the same thing day in, day out in order to advance to the next position. And I think a lot of young people coming out of school struggle with that because 6 months into the job, they're going, okay, what else can I do? And it's you don't do anything else. You do what you were hired for, and you do that job well, and then we can open it up to other responsibilities. But just because you're there for what you feel is a long period of time, in the grand scheme of the company, it's only been a short while. So I think that's the biggest transition, or the biggest difference between college and quote unquote the real world.
It is completely different. Only because it's very difficult to describe what the real world is like unless you go through it. A lot of it, when I say that, is because of the emotional aspect and the pressures that are out there. A lot different than when you are in school. It's very difficult to prepare. However, the more involved you get, I think that's as close as you're going to get. The real world really comes down to working with people and relationships and communication, management and leadership. Again, that you learn in group projects, doing presentations, and also getting involved outside of the classroom in clubs and organizations.
The real world is different because you can't sleep in like you could for class, so that's a little different. What I'd really like to talk about is how one of the similarities that I've noticed. So in the workplace, typical day, 9 to 6, 8 to 5, whatever it may be. But what's interesting is that, most of my coworkers, 5:59 rolls around and their bags are packed and they're ready to go. And they just save whatever else they have for the next work day. But when you're in school, if you have an exam, it's not like, a certain time rolls around and you stop. You keep going. If you have an exam, you'll pull an all-nighter. You'll do whatever you need to do to get it done. And I really think that that's the way work should be too. If 6 o'clock rolls around and I haven't finished what I'm doing, or I really want to make sure that what I'm doing is fantastic so that it's reflecting whatever reputation I'm trying to portray, then I'm going to keep working. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of students lose. When they go into the workplace, we sort of develop this attitude that 6 o'clock, I'm not being paid to be here anymore, I need to not be here anymore. But that's not the way it should be, especially if you're young in the workplace, because think of it as school. If you wouldn't stop studying for a test after a certain time, then you shouldn't stop working after a certain time, especially when you're trying to build a reputation for yourself, especially if you're trying to learn and get places, because chances are it's going to take you a lot longer to learn how to do something in the beginning than it would later on.